Bienvenue à Café Trois Principes Expresso. Hi, I'm Mamoon. May the peace, love and blessings be with you. I am known by thousands of people around the world as the Quran coach because I help people access the power of the Quran with spiritual laws, which are very similar to the principles. And so basically in this video I just want to share with you why I think the principles are so powerful, how they've caused such a big transformation in my life and what they could perhaps do for you. And for me the thing that made the penny drop was this idea, the paradigm that the principles point towards. And the paradigm is known as the inside out paradigm, which is that you're living, it's the simplest thing in the world. You're living in the feeling of thought in the moment. That's it. It's really simple. You're living in the feeling of thought in the moment. But it just so happens that changes everything. You're gonna be like, how does that change everything? Yeah, okay, feelings come from thought. You're living in the feeling of thought in the moment. But what people don't get the first time round is how deep it goes. Because any thoughts you've got going on through your mind, any challenging situation you're going through in life, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in business, whether it's with your own health and wellness, whatever you're going through, anything that's going through your mind, you just line it up to that and say, okay, I'm living in the feeling of thought in the moment. And if you're feeling really upset, well, hang on a minute, I'm living in the feeling of thought in the moment. And just see what comes out of it. Because what you'll find time after time is that you just go back to where you started. And one of the things that I love, and the thing that made the penny drop, and you've probably heard other people talking about this, is this idea of innate health. It's all already inside of you. You're innately healthy the way that you are. And that really struck me because there's something that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said, which he said, every human being is born into a natural state of inner peace. And I didn't really get that because I was like, well, but you know, come on, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, we've got all this stuff going on. You know, maybe we were born into that state, but it's long gone, right? But the key distinction for me has been the realization that the only thing that ever pulls us out of that state is the illusion that something other than thought in the moment is what's causing the state, is what's causing our feelings. See, feelings only come from thought in the moment and nowhere else. The illusion that something other than thought in the moment causes our feelings, that's where that's what pulls us out of inner peace. That's what pulls us out of our natural state of freaking awesomeness. So, why is this such a big deal? Well, one of the things I'm starting to explore a lot more now with my clients and students is looking at all of the vast array of implications that this one idea has. So you've got this one idea, I call it like the insight generator. This idea that feeling comes from thought in the moment and nowhere else. Stick to that and see what shows up. Because what I've noticed is confidence. I'm here doing a training today and we're going to be talking a lot about confidence. In business, confidence is king. It's the key. If you don't have confidence, you're never going to sign up coaching clients. You're never going to have a successful business because people can detect your neediness from a mile away. Well, what causes confidence? Guess what? Confidence is your natural state. The only thing that ever pulls you out of confidence is this illusion that something outside of you, like more clients or more money, could cause your feelings, could cause your security, your well-being, your peace of mind. But it was never outside there in the first place. It was always inside of you. It was always inside of you. So there's nothing out there to find. It's always inside of you. Now, in order to help people get this more, business is one context. Another context is relationships. People think that being in a great relationship will make them happy. They want to be happily ever after. But happiness comes first. If you're happy first, you may well attract a really great relationship. But if you need your partner to give you happiness, and you think that your partner is the source of the love that you're feeling, then you're going to suddenly become all needy and you're going to, oh my God, they looked at me this way and that means this. But it's like, no, chill out, man. Happiness is inside of you. Love is inside of you already. Now, when you start from a place of happiness and love, then you'll bring it to your partner and you'll get you'll get everything that you want back because it's always been inside of you. Sidney Banks always says, the answer is within. He says, I tell everyone to look within and nobody freaking listens. And that's what it all comes down to. You know, you're living in the feeling of thought in the moment. Everything you're searching for is already inside of you. And it will show up in your relationships, and it will show up in business, and it will show up in health. And I'll give you another quick one if we've got time, because I know we're doing it expresso, right? But if we've got time, I'll give you another quick one, which is like health and wellness and stuff like that. It's like, well, what's the inside-out approach to health and wellness? Well, in very practical terms, it's the same as the outside-in approach to health. Like, being inside out isn't going to help you lift weights, right? If you want to build muscle on your body, you have to lift weights. It's very simple. But what's the inside-out approach is a huge breakthrough that I had talking with a coach, Jamie Smart. It was this realization, it's like I really wanted to go to these classes of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I actually wanted a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which I earned very recently. And the truth is, really I want a black belt, but you know, you got to start somewhere. But the problem is I was a white belt, and I'd been a white belt for like years. And you know, it would be time for class, I'd be like, oh, you know, I'm not feeling it, oh, I'm just not feeling inspired. And I'd be like, oh, you know what, this isn't the class for me. When I'm feeling centered and like zen, then I'll go to class. And the problem is, something that Jamie pointed out to me is, there is a huge difference between what you want and what you feel like in any given moment. So I wanted a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I didn't feel like going to class. And it's like, well, if you wait until you feel like going to class before you go to class, you're not going to learn very much, right? Because here's the thing, thought changes moment to moment. The nature of thought is it's completely unpredictable, it changes moment to moment, and it's the cause of feelings. So if feelings can just come and go like the weather, and if you're going to go through feelings like that, then the idea of waiting until you feel good before you take action is kind of crazy. It's kind of like, well, why wait till you feel good to take action? And here's another thing I noticed. Even today, like my last Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, I really didn't want to go. I was like, oh, I'm going to go to this class. I'm not feeling great. You know, I'll give you a hint as well. Never drink milk before doing vigorous physical exercise, because if you have any nerves, especially something like a martial art, if you have any nerves, it starts coming up, right? So I was like, oh, I really don't want to go to class. I really don't want to go. But then I was like, oh well, I better pack my bag and go. It was a visceral, I really don't want to go. But I just went anyway. And even as I was walking to class, I was like, no, maybe I should miss this class. And I was trying to search inside, maybe am I feeling okay, am I feeling sick? And I was like, no, I had no real excuse for it, okay. So I just went anyway. Even though I really didn't feel like going, I went anyway. Guess what? An hour and a half later, left the class feeling like a hero. Because thought is totally unpredictable. It's not going to the class that made me feel like a hero, because that's not where feelings come from. Thought makes you feel like a hero, or feel like a criminal, or feel great, or feel terrible. It all comes from thought. So if we wait around and let your actions be determined by your thoughts, let your actions be determined by how you feel in any given moment, and this is one last key that I'll leave you with, don't let your feelings determine your actions. Because feeling comes from thought, thought's totally unpredictable. One minute you could be feeling down in the dumps, the next minute you could be feeling high as a kite. Don't let your feelings determine your actions. But if you notice what I'm saying here, all these things are just implications, insights, realizations that I've had personally through understanding one thing, right? See, in other forms of coaching and therapy, there's a million things. There's this technique and there's that technique, and how's my rapport, and how's this and how's that, and am I using hypnotic language or specific? With this, there's just one thing, and it generates all of the results. It generates all of the personal breakthroughs, all the realizations, and all the results, and the one thing is, you're living in the feeling of thought in the moment. And that's it. So, you know, that has implications in relationships, in business, in finance, in stress. It has implications for depression and anxiety. It has implications for you and your life right now. Profound implications. And it's the simplest thing in the world. So that is the best I've got in 5 minutes of rambling. I hope that's been of some benefit and use to you. And as always, may the peace, love and blessings of Allah be with you.
Thank you very much, Mamoon. I look forward to have you in another episode of Café Trois Principes Expresso. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.